Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for today, this one's going to be doing another Let's Chit Chat video, and our last one before the Walking Dead Dead City Season 2 finale, which is airing tomorrow, of course, on AMC+. Very excited to see how this season wraps up, and to see how everything kind of comes to its conclusion, but we're also going to talk about a, number of different things that's gone on this week. So, this was a really crazy week on the channel. We had a lot of things going on, a lot of things that got premiered, and a lot of new things, new shows, new experiences, new stuff like that, and it was really fun. So this week we did Walking Dead videos, which we'll start with that. Walking Dead Dead City is going to be airing its finale tonight / tomorrow. Of course, our final Season 2 review will be, of course, out tomorrow. And then I'm going to be doing a seasonal review for Season 2 of Dead City as well, like I did with, Last of Us, Daryl Dixon, other things like that. So you can expect a season review probably in a few days after the finale, something like that, once I kind of gather my thoughts and then kind of, come back with a full season review. So that'll also be coming up this week. But this season of Dead City, I've enjoyed a decent portion of it. I've also not enjoyed portions of it. I think this season has definitely been problematic. I definitely think I prefer season 1. But again, the finale will kind of, give me that full-on answer. I just find the writing is a bit more consistent. I think they were doing good with those 6 episodes, and I think now that they've enhanced into 8 episodes, you get these episodes that kind of just come in here and don't really do much of anything. So that's kind of the one thing I think that Dead City Season 1 just succeeds in better for me. But again, I'm not going to say it's definitive. We'll see what ends up happening. There's a lot of things that could end up happening in this episode. We could be seeing Dwight for all we know, guys. I know that's been a massive theory. We could be seeing Dwight tomorrow. I hope we do. Genuinely, that would be awesome if that ends up happening, if that rumor ends up happening. We also know we're getting old school Negan back. We know we're getting some big battles and stuff. This is going to be an interesting episode. I think it's going to be a really cool conclusion to the season. At least I hope it is. I'm hoping for a good conclusion. So tomorrow we'll be reviewing that. Stay tuned for the review tomorrow, of course. And, we also got a brand new promotional image for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3, which we know that's going to be releasing in September, probably, likely September, October-ish range for Daryl Dixon. That's usually when they air their show. Daryl Dixon, I'm really, really curious to see how they kind of have this play out, because Daryl Season 3 is going to be in Spain, of course. We can see him and Carol here kind of walking through. Daryl, man, I gotta say, has so many scars now up to this point, I can't even count them. All the scars on him, from the stuff that he's been through, is actually kind of insane. I'm really looking forward to seeing, what we get in this new setting. I'm looking forward to seeing some new characters. Daryl and Carol kind of, traveling through, I think is going to be interesting, to say the least. It's interesting, as Bruegel would say. And, I'm looking forward to it. Now, that's going to be another thing, obviously, is once Dead City's done, we're probably going to get a release date around that time for Daryl Dixon. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something in the next coming days of, when this season releases. Or maybe they'll save it for Comic-Con for the big trailer in July. That's also very possible as well. So, yeah, man, it's going to be really crazy. Walking Dead universe really just going at it, man. It's going to be really crazy to see how Dead City wraps up. And Daryl Dixon, when that eventually starts as well, which, like I said, I'm predicting September. But again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see specifically when it's going to be. And then, this week we had a lot of stuff happening, man. We had a lot of things. We did some movie reviews for a lot of things, Ballerina and, Karate Kid and other things like that. So we did a lot of different various content. I am aware of 28 Years Later. I am going to be having a review out for that very soon. So just stay posted. I'm going to be covering that very soon. I know a lot of people want me to review 28 Years Later. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I'm kind of curious to see where this one's going to land on my end of things. But I'm excited. I'm really curious to see, because I kind of miss good, scary zombie content. I feel like I haven't seen that in a good while. So, no offense, Walking Dead. So, I don't know. I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see what we got going on here. And there was a few other things going on this week. I'm actually kind of trying to remember what other things we covered this week, because we did a lot of different types of content. We did a GTA update review. We talked about that. We talked about a few other kind of numerous things. We did some Dexter content, and a lot of other kind of videos here and there. It was a really fun week for coverage of a lot of different franchises and stuff. I think this was really fun. Squid Game we talked about. Squid Game, by the way, is going to be coming up this week, which now I'll kind of mention that. This week on on Friday, there's going to be a new season of Squid Game, which is the final season. So that is another thing you can expect reviews for from me this week. Not only the Walking Dead Dead City finale, not only the Walking Dead Dead City Season 2 review, but you can also expect Squid Game Season 3, the final season coverage on the channel. Yes, that will be going down as well. And we're going to be, covering the ending of that show. I've got really high hopes for it. I think it looks good so far. I think it looks really good and intense. So I'm looking forward to seeing how, this all kind of plays out. But, man, very, very fun stuff. Lots of good content, lots of good stuff coming out. Now, again, 28 years later, that's also going to be reviewed this week. Dead City, Squid Game, full season Dead City review, stuff like that. That's most of the reviews you can expect. Also potentially Lost if I'm able to squeeze that in there, because I do need to get back on that as well. And I think that's relatively that. Yeah, something like that for this week. That's kind of the rough plan. And then finally we have, in addition to all these things, we have Fly By Night, my brand new series that just released yesterday. Now, I am aware also that Walking Dead rewrites did have a small delay. Those will be coming soon. Don't worry about that. I had to push her back just a little bit, unfortunately, but again, they're rewrites, so if there was one thing I want to push back, it's definitely rewrites, you know what I'm saying, because rewrites can release at any time. Fly By Night is a big series that I wanted to make sure came out yesterday, and it did. We got a new episode coming out July 1st, if you're curious, for the next episode, episode 2, and then the mid-season finale, episode 3, will be on July 8th, and then there will be a small break between episodes 3 and episode 4, kind of a little half-season break there, and then we'll be back with it probably, at some point after that. I have a rough idea of when, but I'm not going to say when exactly it's going to be. I do know the date. I'm not going to say it until after episode 3, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, y'all, the first impressions that I've gotten from y'all on Fly By Night, very happy to hear it. I saw some reactions, I saw some reviews, I even saw some edits on it. I mean, I was blown away with the reception that you guys gave it. I saw comments, questions, all that stuff. You guys were really engaging with it. It is safe to say that this was a really fun launch into this new world, and I'm glad that you guys took it as well as you guys did, because admittedly, I didn't know what this was going to be like. I admittedly thought there was a possibility where people were like, really? Dan's doing a 1950 series? No, I'm not watching that. I honestly love your support on it, guys. It's really fun to watch. It's its own unique franchise, as y'all know. If you've seen the premiere, you definitely know that. And I saw a lot of reactions from a lot of people. A lot of people were watching it. It was really, really cool to see. Even someone I helped mod as well, too, Overraised Gamer, he watched it on his channel as well yesterday. So, very big shout out to him as well, too. I'm a mod for his channel. I love his content, and he watched it yesterday as well, too. So, and I know he enjoyed it as well, too. So, I'm glad to see a lot of people engaging with it. I've had a lot of people kind of ask me when episode 2 is. Episode 2 is going to be July 1st, Canada Day, in other words. And then episode 3 will be July 8th. And then there'll be a small break, and then we'll be back with the other 3. The only reason I do that is because it is still, a half seasons. I still do that. And I did that with World Got Mad, so I kind of figured we'll do that again here. Let the season kind of last a bit longer over the course of the summer. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's one of those where it's like, I want to let it last. You know what I'm saying? Not just 6 weeks, maybe 9, 10-ish type weeks. You know what I'm saying? Let it kind of, last a little bit longer and kind of, go on for a little bit. And, I've also said this, depending on the support of the series, we will do a season 2. We will definitely do a season 2, as long as the support is enough, because it's not an easy show to make, right? So there has to be enough support for it continuously for me to continue it. But there is a route where we get a second season. There's a route where we get a long-running series. So I'm looking forward to seeing that if that ends up happening. Again, Fly By Night, it's not and I've kind of said this before, it's not like a really long season. Like, it's not going to be like a 10-season show, but it is a, decently good length of a show, I'd say, that I do have an outline for, and I do know how many seasons I would do, if it continues to get support. So if it continues to get support, we will, see out the vision, and we will do the whole thing, and we will, complete it. But yeah, at least in terms of a first impression, it was really fun seeing y'all's reactions to it yesterday, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing the series. I'm sure you guys have noticed, it's very, different. The music and the style is different. Another thing that I'm sure you guys are probably noticing is that in the series, we have 2 timelines. We have the 1950s timeline, and we have the 2004 timeline, where a cashier was murdered and stabbed in jail, right? So that's kind of insane. But I can kind of confirm that if you are wondering, there's borders on the slides for the episodes, as I'm sure you're noticing. In 2004, there is a red border on it, so you know it's in 2004. And then for the 1950s current day storyline, I'd say, we have the blue, around it. So that's how you'll know if you're in the 1950s or in the 2000s, is when you see the red, you know you're in the 2000s, and when you see the blue, you know you're in the 50s. The color of both red and blue for the show actually is a part of the show. It's not just there for style purposes. It actually is there for story reasons as well, to give you an idea of what timeline is what, because we are alternating, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, I want to make the story as presentable and as easy to follow as humanly possible, so I kind of decided to give the theme of the show onto the slides, and then you guys can kind of pick it apart and tell what's going on. So that's kind of the idea there. So if you're wondering, that's why there's red borders on some, and then there's, blue borders on others. That's for you to notice what timeline is what. So that's kind of the scoop on that one, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's honestly really cool. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what you guys think about the show. I even had some people saying, like, man, like, it looks like a real series, and I'm like, yeah, I try my best to improve as the years go on with my projects. One of the reasons why this one took so long is actually because of that, because I tried to make it seem as real as, as possible, right? Because I want full immersion in my series. I want people to be able to get into it to where they're glued to the screen and they're just zoned in, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want. And if I can accomplish that, then I think, I've definitely been able to do something at least, so I'm very happy about that, and I think it's been a successful beginning to this very insane drama series. And I know there's a lot of questions people have had, a lot of people wondering, like, did Alyssa really kill someone? Well, again, I can't really say. We'll kind of find out, and obviously, what kind of jobs does Harold have to do for this police department? What kind of stuff does he have to do? You know what I'm saying? And who is that cashier that gets murdered at the beginning? I know people have asked me that as well too. Again, these are questions that you're gonna have to watch the show and figure it out, and you're not gonna expect what's happening, man. I tell you, I know most writers say that. It's like the most generic thing, but no, truly, I don't think people are gonna be predicting where this one kind of ends up. So it's going to be really exciting, man. I'm really excited to kind of see this journey through, and it was a fun beginning to the show yesterday, and I'm really looking forward to July 1st if you guys see episode 2. So, anyway, if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe and tune up to any other videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a straight fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.